Good morning, dear students of class 12. Today we are going to take up a lesson from your English reader, Flamingo. And this lesson is The Lost Spring by Ernest Young. Let us try to know a brief about the writer of this lesson, Ernest Young, an Indian woman author, journalist, and a columnist for major newspapers in India and abroad. Her noted works are Unveiling India, which she wrote in 1987, and Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood. And from this book of hers, there's an extract, Lost Spring, in your textbook for study. Now this lesson is in two parts. The first part is Sometimes I Find a Rupee in the Garbage, and the second part is I Want to Drive a Car. Let us first try to understand the title, The Lost Spring. Now it is represented through this picture of a tree which is in different colored leaves. Let us start with the spring season, full of life, which is childhood of a man's life. Then a stage further of growth, man attains youth, which is represented as summer season. Then, after youth comes a period of achievement in man's life, a period of more work and responsibilities, and this is represented as autumn season. Finally, the winter season, which is the old age of a man's life, where man attains lot of wisdom and experience. The first part, as I said, of this lesson which we are going to take up is Sometimes I Find a Rupee in the Garbage. If we look into this title deeply, we see that there is a tinge of irony in it. Spring, being the best season of the year, is full of color, fragrance, freshness. It is also season of renewal and growth. Childhood of human life is often compared to a spring season because children anywhere in the world, they are a source of great joy. But ironically, millions of children like Sahib, which is represented in this lesson as a boy who's a rag picker, and in the second part, Mukesh, a child laborer from Firozabad. These two children, they are both child laborers, and there is no spring in their lives. Education, play, pleasure, it is not meant for children who are workers, who work as child laborers, because they must work and support themselves and their families. Thus the title brings out the depravity of child labor in a more pathetic way. How child labor is a curse. Ernest Young in this lesson has tried to highlight the plight of poor people and children who are exploited. Their parents are helpless. They cannot afford to send their children to school. Rather, they send them for work. And the society employs them as child laborers. And spring refers to life which is full of happiness, full of energy and vitality. But here, lost spring refers to these children because they have lost all happiness in their lives. This child, about whom the first part is based, is a rag picker. And he's living in Simapuri along with other rag pickers. A family of 10,000 rag pickers live there, and they have all come from Dhaka, Bangladesh in 1971 as their lands and houses were devastated by storm. Writer calls them as morning birds on work, these rag pickers. They carry a sack on their back and they are early in the morning set out for work. The writer encounters this rag picker, one such boy called Sahib. And when she engages in a conversation, she comes to know about his parents and what made them leave their native land. And they had come and settled in Delhi in search of a better living, or say in search of a survival. Other families of rag pickers, including Sahib, they are living in the slum area of Simapuri. The author engages in a conversation with this boy, wants to know why he doesn't go to school. The boy has too much of self-respect and says that there is no school in the vicinity. When the writer says, if she opens a school, will he come? After a few days, when he meets the writer, he wants to know, is the school ready? This embarrasses the writer because she has raised in the child a bleak promise. Probably such promises abound in the life of such children. There is irony in the child's name. He is Sahib-e-Alam. Probably he doesn't know what his name means. Sahib-e-Alam, Lord of the universe. But he is a rag picker. The spark of childhood is no more in his eyes, and he roams around barefooted with other rag picker friends. During one such conversation, writer wants to know why the children are not wearing slippers, and they have number of excuses. They say mother has not taken them out from the shelf, or probably it's the tradition not to wear slippers. But the real reason is poverty, which they do not accept. Probably they have too much of self-respect. The writer remembers a priest in Udupi she had met 30 years back. And at that time, the priest did not have slippers. But now, the priest's child is having shoes, wearing shoes, school uniform, and has a bag on his back. Probably the place has seen progress and development. But the condition of these rag picker children since generations has remained the same, and further there is no hope for change. The writer describes Simapuri, the settlement where these rag pickers live. Pathetic state of living, huts, almost in a deplorable condition, mud houses, poor sanitation, no safe drinking water, no sewage. They are living life substandard. They are on the outskirts of Delhi, capital city, but they are deprived all facilities of a capital city. They have ration cards, but that is to secure vote banks for politicians. Both children and adults, they are rag pickers, but garbage holds different meanings for them. For elders, it is a means of survival, livelihood, but for children, it is a gold mine. They are full of wonder, surprise. Even if they come by the end of the day, they are able to scrounge 10 rupees note. Probably it has changed life for them that day. Or they have some hope that one day life is going to change. These children are deprived of schooling. Their dreams are shattered. They are not wearing shoes. Even small needs like wearing a shoes, they are not able to fulfill. These gang of rag pickers, they move in local areas barefooted with semi-naked bodies, carrying bags full of rags. After some time, the writer meets Sahib, but she comes to know that he has found work. He is working in a tea stall which is giving him 800 rupees salary per month. But she finds that there is no happiness in his eyes. That carefree look which she saw as a rag picker was no more there. Probably now he is no longer his own master. Earlier, as a rag picker, he was his own master. If we look at Sahib-e-Alam, his name is ironical. He is a 10-year-old child. He has a dream to go to school, wear tennis shoes, play tennis game. Probably how the writer comes to know by seeing him outside the tennis stadium in the evening watching the game. He's not allowed inside. And what is satisfying for him is when he manages to get a discarded pair of tennis shoes which probably a rich boy had discarded. Later, his dreams are shattered. He takes up work in a tea stall which is giving him 800 salary, but he is no longer his own master. He is thus unhappy. This is the fate of all children who are working as child laborers. The weight of the tin canister that he is carrying is heavier than the bag of rags. There is symbol used in the lesson, symbolism, steel canister versus garbage dam. Garbage dam is a symbol of freedom, master of his own life, full of wonders under the control of no one. When Sahib was scrounging through the garbage as a rag picker, but steel canister when he started carrying as a worker in a tea stall, it was a symbol of slavery. He was no longer his own master. Life was dull, monotonous. He was under the control of a owner. If we look quickly at the mind map of the lesson Lost Spring by Anis Jung, sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage. We find author Anis Jung encountering Sahib the rag picker, engages with him in a conversation, tries to know his vocation, advises him to go to school, comes to know about his family, promises to open a school, but later feels embarrassed at the hollow promise. There is irony in Sahib-e-Alam's name. The irony, the name stands for Lord of the Universe, but his life is just the opposite. Later she finds that Sahib has taken a new vocation of laborer in a tea stall, but he has lost his freedom, which he enjoyed as a rag picker. There is a description of Simapuri, slum. It is in Delhi, yet miles away from Delhi, because there is hardly any development. Being in Delhi, it should have seen all progress and development, but it is lacking in progress and development. The writer also tries to share with us small dreams of these children, like all normal children. But sadly, the dreams of these children, they are shattered. There is no scope for them to dream because they have to face the harsh realities of life. So probably the writer through this lesson is trying to make an appeal to the society that child labor, which is banned, it should be in true sense, because we find child labor still thriving. And poor parents are still sending their children for work. And society is engaging these laborers because it is cheap and they can be exploited. So it is high time that we should all unite and raise our voice against this curse of child labor. So, we have taken up the first part of the lesson, that is, sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage. It is about the life of Sahib-e-Alam, who is a rat picker. But he is representative of all children who are working and who are not leading a normal life which every child should. So with this, we come to an end of the first part of the lesson. You are advised to go through the text and come up with your problems and post it in your group.